Air Force One just touched down. You can actually see it right over there. How important is local news in your opinion?
Local news is very important, and they really treat us well.
Flooded streets, driveways, and yards are leaving neighbors scrambling to protect their property throughout western Montana tonight. And this is just the beginning. Wet weather is headed our way, and a flood warning is in place until Tuesday. Our team is standing by live tonight with everything that you need to know about this flood warning and the areas that are already being impacted. And I'm Angela Marshall. That hostage has been released safely, but the suspect is still on the bus, armed with a gun and possibly an explosive device. We are in a weather authority alert due to flooding. Missoula County Commissioners just today signed a disaster declaration. Thanks so much, Brooke. Now, can you tell us if there's been any disruption to bus services as a result? What you see in my hand here are embers from the Howe Ridge fire. This is a piece of a cedar tree that flew a third to a half a mile across Lake McDonald and landed right in front of Lake McDonald Lodge. Good evening, Ben. Yes, I'm here at the Hilton Garden Inn in Bozeman, which is the scene for Congressman Greg Gianforte's election night party. This donation all made possible by Cabela's. They donated 100 reindeer and 100 penguin. We have Brent's Classic Cheddar right here. We have a Cobb burger right here. And we have the Elvis burger right here. In true classic fashion, it has peanut butter, banana, and bacon. I'm going to go ahead and bite into it. It's pretty good. Titans, book it. Mark it down.
He booked it. He marked it down.
So, Sean, you actually chose the winning team. Way to go. The score a little off. And don't go don't go away anywhere. We'll show you a great Grizz encounter for one Montana dog. It's a story when we return.
The president has touched down in the Garden City, Missoula, Montana. The first time in 70 years a sitting president has been in Missoula County.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Angela Marshall, and I'm actually standing on the tarmac at the Missoula International Airport. Air Force One just touched down. You can actually see it right over there. It's getting ready to turn around and then head right over here where the 45th President of the United States, President Donald Trump, will step out of Air Force One. He'll walk down the stairs, and then he'll actually get into a motorcade and head on over to Minuteman Aviation. Joe, if we can have you turn the camera, you can actually see Minuteman Aviation over there in the background. That's where tonight's rally is going to be held. The rally is expected to get underway at about 6:30 tonight. There's hundreds of people already preparing to hear the president speak. U.S. Senator Steve Daines as well as Congressman Greg Gianforte already got up to rally the crowd. They're just waiting for the president to speak. And of course, be sure to stay tuned to my Twitter and my Facebook page. I will have kind of behind the scenes action of President Trump stepping out of Air Force One. It's video and photos that you will want to see. Be sure to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, reporting to Missoula, I'm Angela Marshall, Montana Right Now.
Donald Trump stepping down.
How important is local news in your opinion?
Local news is very important, and they really treat us well.
How important is Montana's U.S. Senate race? And to add to that, do you have any sort of a vendetta against Jon Tester in terms of his work?
In the Tester case, what he said about Admiral Jackson was horrible, and it was false.
Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke, of course, a Montana native. There was rumbling on Fox News just this morning that he is among the candidates to replace UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. Do you have a comment to that?
Well, his biggest problem is that he's doing so good and so well at what he's doing that I hate to take him.
Right now, this is your ABC Fox Montana News. Flood coverage 2018.
We are in a weather authority alert due to flooding. Missoula County Commissioners just today signed a disaster declaration. It opens the door for the county to ask the state for funds to help with flood relief efforts. And I'm actually standing at one of those areas that is working to help flood victims. ABC Fox Montana is broadcasting to you live tonight from Fort Missoula. It's a sandbagging station. You can actually see behind me all of the sandbags that have been filled by hundreds of volunteers who have stepped forward to help flood victims. ABC Fox Montana has actually had the opportunity to help fill some of those sandbags. Megan Barraza joined us earlier today. Megan, what do you think about filling sandbags? And our sports team is actually here with us live. Ben Wyman, as well as our very own Sean Rainey. They have the shovels in hand. They're going to be doing some sandbagging of their own. Ben, you were out earlier today. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I was the brawn.
Just remember who's holding the mic.
That's
Ben.
true. That's true.
And Sean, you actually and Ben are going to be throughout the newscast seeing how many sandbags you guys can fill. One of our other team members, Jackie Coffin, is standing by right now in a Missoula neighborhood hard hit by the flooding that has recently happened. Let's go ahead and check in with her right now. Jackie? The man reportedly jumped from the Orange Street Bridge into the Clark Fork River. Missoula Police Sergeant Travis Welsh says witnesses called 911 after seeing the man climb over the railing and jump into the river around 11:45 this morning. Welsh says the man reached the bank after floating a short distance. Emergency responders were able to pull the man to safety near Taco John's on Broadway. Now, we had the opportunity to speak to a woman who called 911 after she saw the man jump from the bridge.
I was crossing the bridge to go get my daughter from high school, and I seen him leaning or crawling over the bridge, and then I seen him just kind of standing there, and I thought he was going to try to maybe commit suicide, so I called 911.
Now, the man was taken to the hospital to be evaluated. Police say they're unsure as to why the man jumped into the river. I'm joined now by Captain Anthony Rio from the Missoula County Sheriff's Office. And Captain Rio, this is certainly an opportunity to stress the importance of staying out of the water right now. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. You know, we worked last week with the Missoula Fish, Wildlife, and Parks.
Now, at one point, there was some debris that was floating in the water, some of which include propane tanks and even parts of mobile homes. You've since been able to get some of that cleaned up. But the question I want to ask is, how many mobile homes do you know have been destroyed thus far?
So there were, in that Schmidt area, there were 3 mobile homes.
All right, and what is the most important information you can tell our viewers right now as the flooding is expected to persist for the next few days, even weeks?
Yeah, just please remain vigilant. If you see something, say something.
Captain Anthony Rio with the Missoula County Sheriff's Office, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And you couldn't have said it much better. We are all in this together. Megan and I actually were in this together when we were sandbagging earlier today. What did you think about the sandbagging efforts that we had done? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the sights and sounds of what we had done earlier today.
It's been good, you know. It's not easy. It's a workout, that's for sure. But it's actually fun, you know, and we know that it's going to be so rewarding. So we're really glad that we're here.
Angela Marshall broadcasting to you live from Fort Missoula. It is an area where you can help sandbag to help with flood relief efforts in and around Missoula. But flooding has not only been a problem in Missoula, it has been a problem outside of Missoula. Some residents in the Sun River, in fact, are attempting to help sandbag their homes in preparation for the flooding. Now, if you drive through the Sun River, you can actually easily see the water levels have risen in the last couple of days, forcing some people to start sandbagging their properties. We did speak to one local who said this is not the worst he has seen, but with more wet weather on the way, it still raises some concerns. Although no roads are flooded at this time, please remember that it only takes 4 inches of running water to sweep a car away. In the meantime, if you are in Missoula and you do want to help sandbag, they do need daytime volunteers come this weekend. And if you want to help out but might not be able to lift a sandbag or even a shovel, well, you can certainly donate. You can donate water, you can donate sunscreen, you can donate Gatorade, and we do have all of the links to donate right there on the graphic for you. You can also head to our website at abcfoxmontana.com. In the meantime, I want to just go ahead and show you all of the fruits of the volunteers' labor. It is amazing to see all of these sandbags that have been filled. Hundreds of volunteers have been helping out with this flood relief effort, and that includes our ABC Fox Montana team. Our very own Sean Rainey and Ben Wyman are right now filling sandbags. We'll go ahead and check in with them just to see how many they filled during this newscast right after the break. We'll see you then. For the entire newscast, we have been broadcasting to you live from Fort Missoula, checking in on flood relief efforts, filling sandbags, stacking sandbags. We have also been helping out with these flood relief efforts. You can see Ben and Sean right behind me filling some sandbags. Let's go ahead and check in to see how many sandbags they were able to fill in just the newscast alone.
Almost 90-ish. I think it's about 45 a pallet, and we're just wrapping up our second pallet.
Wow.
Ooh.
And they've only been doing this for 30 minutes. So 30 minutes, folks. If you have the time, please donate your time to help fill sandbags. Team Rubicon says they're still in need. Thank you so much for watching this. What you see in my hand here are embers from the Howe Ridge fire. This is a piece of a cedar tree that flew a third to a half a mile across Lake McDonald and landed right in front of Lake McDonald Lodge. Fire managers say it's a miracle this historic building is still standing.
This is what causes problems with structure protection and structure ignition.
Eerily similar to how the Sperry Chalet ignited last year. The Howe Ridge fire has already destroyed 13 homes, some historical, and 14 outbuildings on the west side of Lake McDonald. When it exploded last month, it was driven not by winds, but by a large column of smoke that collapsed and burned everything underneath, and it continues to expand.
On the north end of the lake, there's still a tremendous amount of heat. Still quite a few structures on the north end of the lake there.
Roughly 25 structures. Fire protection specialist Hunter Bell says the team is working with local structural firefighters to protect these homes as well as a historic lodge and adjacent cabins.
Columbia Falls and those kind of folks would be a ladder truck or an aerial platform to allow those guys, the structural firefighters, which they're trained to do, to get up on top of this and spray water up on the top on the cedar.
Sprinklers, pumping water from the creek below, also line the McDonald Creek Bridge, another critical piece of infrastructure. It's the only way for firefighters and homeowners to get to the west side of the lake. And even more hoses line the popular Trail of the Cedars.
They're a shallow-rooted tree. They're easy to burn out the middle of them, and they fall over very easily. That poses a lot of threat to firefighters and public.
It's these dangers and the fact that the Going to the Sun Road is the only escape for firefighters that add to the reasons why the west side of the famed highway has been closed for nearly a month during the popular summer tourism season. At this time, the popular Trail of the Cedars is not open to the public. The closed portion of the Sun Road on the west side will reopen to the public come Friday, but only with limited access. Only tour and shuttle buses will be allowed up the road, and no stops will be made in between. Reporting in Glacier National Park, I'm Angela Marshall, Montana Right Now.
The bada bing, the bada boom.
Jennifer Parker is the owner and head waitress at Parker's restaurant in Drummond.
And I own all of the monkeys in the back.
She and her husband Brent bought the restaurant in 2011 after previously owning the Frosty Freeze next door. They aptly named the family establishment Parker's.
Started off with about 50 burgers.
Gonna put a couple of quarter-pound burgers on too.
And they've added since then.
Adding? An understatement. They've almost tripled the number of burgers now on the menu.
My youngest son, both Brents, totally creative with their food, wanting to put different flavor combinations together.
What I think about burgers is it's a great palate to explore other types of foods.
And that's exactly what they're doing when serving up big burgers, tall burgers, all burgers.
That's a nice looking burger right there.
Made of pure Montana beef.
Rodeo burger, Ortega burger, outlaw burger.
And
we've got a popcorn shrimp burger. We've got the Elvis burger.
And scattered throughout the entire restaurant, pictures of the Parker family, mementos from Brent's time teaching high school students the culinary trade, and flair, a lot of flair.
I'm a bit of a pack rat, and the strange truth is I'm a Pepsi drinker.
So you can't stop into Parker's restaurant without getting some sort of a history lesson, whether it's a lesson on the Parker family history, Montana history, or American history. We have Brent's classic cheddar right here. We have a Cobb burger right here. And we have the Elvis burger right here. In true classic fashion, it has peanut butter, banana, and bacon. I'm gonna go ahead and bite into it. It's pretty good. And the locals seem to think so too.
This place is amazing, I love it. I ordered the Fonz. It's 2 half-pound burger patties, topped with bacon and onion rings and a barbecue sauce.
I have never found any burgers taste any better than at Parker's.
That's going to be good watching. Oh my goodness.
And whether it's a laugh on a weekday or a weekend, Parker's is more than just a place to eat. It's a place to meet and greet.
That's what makes Montana. That's what makes this restaurant. The people, the food.
The restaurant can be more than just a place for nourishment. It can be a place to nourish the soul as well.
Parker's restaurant serving up just as many burgers.
We're going to give them some burgers and let them eat.
139 as there are households 140 in Drummond. This week's Montana Treasure.